Awesome.
Hey y'all,
Hello.
hey. It is 1:30ish. My sister Mashekia is here with me. How we doing today, sis?
Hey, doing fabulous. Ready for this conversation?
Honey, right? Shout out to everybody who responded to us. For y'all who are looking at this pop up like, what is this in the middle of the day? Honey,
Hey, we gotta
it,
do what we gotta do.
it is very much necessary. So just to give a little bit of background story. I want to do this. Before I do that, Mashekia, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you are doing, and how you're speaking to education from the perspective of an educator.
Okay, so I am Mashekia Turner. I have been teaching now for 9 years. This is going into year 9. I started in 2016. So I've taught in public school system, taught in private school system. Now I'm a GED instructor, so I help students to get their high school equivalency. Right now I am on a journey with the help of my sister Kenitra to speak into teachers, to get the things that I didn't necessarily get when I began teaching, and the things that I needed when I started to teach. And I do have a journal, but we'll talk about that coming in the month of September. But yeah, so that's me.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So the origin of this conversation, if you're catching this in the replay, drop replay in the comments. Tag a teacher, tag an educator, because this conversation
Please
is
do.
absolutely for our educators. So, a teacher in the ER sending their grades in the not inpatient. That was the stretcher in the emergency room, right? I know what that looks like. I've been there on both sides, on the patient side and as a nurse side. So I recognize, what I'm looking at. Y'all drop something in the comments as y'all are coming in. So with the laptop, with the mask on, I was like, and then the caption read, teacher sending in a student's grades.
Yeah.
And essentially that was the last thing that man did.
Yes.
And then I shared it.
Mm-hmm.
And then people was like, oh yeah, I've had that happen. Or that was me when I was 6 months pregnant. And I was like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
No. So, let's talk about, oh my gosh, so tell me the first thing, because I don't have words. Like, honestly, I'm having a hard time. Y'all know I always got words, right? So Mashekia, what's the first thing you would like to address from that perspective? Because I know that this it hits home for you too.
First thing, if you're in education, you weren't surprised. You weren't surprised at seeing that. Now, you may have been surprised at the outcome. Unfortunately, he did pass away. But as an educator, you were not surprised. This is not the first time that we have or will experience or see something like this. It is that dedication factor or dedication angle where, as educators, we are dedicated. I mean, you have a few of your bad apples, but that's not the majority. The majority of us are committed. And when we get into this profession, because we love it and we have a passion for it. So what you saw, a lot of educators weren't surprised. What they probably were was angry because this happened again, right? Or they were just like, this is how people perceive teachers sometimes, and not in a negative light, in a way that we do things out of the dedication, the desire, the drive. And I think about like when the pandemic happened, right, in 2020, and a lot of us, our kids were snatched away from us in the blink of an eye. We shut down quickly. And as educators, struggled really bad because that's not how we leave our students. We had no more contact with them face to face from that point on, through the summer and all the things. And so seeing that, no, educators were not surprised, but I know who was surprised was the people who are not in the education system. And some people would probably have been like, well, why would he do that? And why would he? Well, he did it because he loved his job. What I don't like is that was the last thing he has a memory of here on this earth. I don't know his background. I don't know what was the cause of this. Had he already been sick or whatever the case may be? Now, let's say he had already been sick. That means that he was teaching throughout his illness, right? He was teaching throughout whatever was going on in his life. You see many teachers who teach through cancer. You see many teachers who teach through their spouses going through that. Okay. You see teachers who come back before their body is ready when they've went out and had a child. So you see that the wear and tear on educators, and it is a field that unfortunately that happens. There is a level of commitment when you come into teaching that sometimes as educators, we don't have that work-life balance. And sometimes it's hard to learn that. I'm grateful in the fact that I did learn it early. I had an amazing instructional coach when I was working my very first year. And she told me, you've got to have a work-life balance. You cannot commit everything you do to this field, to this educate. You can't do it. So there's that dedication factor, that some teachers have to learn how to put that boundary. But it's hard. It's hard because we have a love for our students. We have a love for what we do. And people just, weren't surprised by it. So, your question is, how much is too much, right? How much is too much? How much is too much? Did he know that he was going to pass away? And
that's what I was thinking.
Decided, that, okay, I know this is the end of my life. My students are still going to get the best of me until I'm gone.
Wow.
Did he know that? We don't know. We don't know.
I love and hate that at the same time, because there's a hero inside of the sacrifice, but you still want to know that you had a choice, right? Yes. Like, I think that the part about having a decision is, I'm going to choose to spend my time this way versus, these are all the options I have. I can't not do it that way. And so, what we're talking about more and more is wellness for everybody. And what that looks like in whatever your profession is, what it looks like in your relationships. Yes. And so with this being the back to school time, and you got the teachers, and we have all of these different factors, it's just like, are we actually choosing better for ourselves? Because sometimes I think we do make excuses. We make excuses for like not caring for ourselves because it'll look superheroish to, like another person. And that makes me concerned, because nobody is actually a superhero. We are all actually humans, and us having the longevity that we need so that your impact is continuous. Like, are we building for the moment, or are we thinking, longevity? And the way these children really need Jesus, I just keep having these conversations. The way these children need the teachers and the mentors and the counselors and the social workers and they therapists, like the way they need folks is bigger than we really anticipate.
And the thing about it is, as educators, we have this term, right, called wraparound services, right? So that's everything that you just stated. If they need a therapist, psychiatrist, us, house, whatever the case may be. So we have these wraparound services, but you also have to think about, like, there are schools, because of funding, that cannot provide those things, right? And that's a whole nother, aspect of it. So sometimes your teacher is all of those things at once, right? Sometimes. And so when you become invested in your students' lives, and you get to know them, and you're with them for so many months, and you get to know them, you think about that teacher, that professor, right? He has gotten to know his students, and I guarantee you, even through him being sick, some of his students have probably really been there for him. They have probably pulled for him. They still came to class. They did their work. They did all the things, and in his mind, I'm not letting them down. I'm not letting them down. They've come to class. They did all the work. Even when he wasn't feeling well, some of them probably reached out to him. Hey, how you doing today? Whatever the case may be. His mentality is, I'm not letting them down. Those are my students. Those are the ones who, and imagine if that's a college course, right? Yeah. The students need that, right? So it's a college course. And so his thought process was probably, they got to have this grade for their college course. He probably did not even think of the fact that I'm sitting here in this bed and now I'm going to be famous when I'm gone, right? Because people are going to be talking about me when I'm gone. And so you mentioned the superhero like complex. A lot of people label teachers, you know, as these superheroes. Most of us don't feel that way. Most of us just feel tired, right? We just feel tired. We feel exhausted. But superhero is not necessarily a term that, you know, we just go around calling each other, you know, whatever. And a lot of people see us as that way. And while in and of itself, it's not a problem, but it is when your superhero-ness outweighs your mental health and outweighs you getting rest and outweighs you spending time with your family and outweighs you going to church on Sundays because you're tired, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. Yes, we get that title, right? However, there has to be a balance. The biggest thing I can talk about is just your work-life balance, because unfortunately, if you don't have it, it destroys so many areas of your life. When I first became a teacher, listen, I was getting to work every morning at the crack of dawn, staying to whatever time. And my instructional coach, her name's Amy, she's like, no, ma'am, you have a life outside of this. And she saw me one time outside of work and she's like, see what I mean? You need to live. Like, you need to live outside of just being an educator. So it's just that balance. And when you look at that picture, it's so heartbreaking because we don't know if he had a work-life balance, right? We don't know that. But looking at that picture, you'd be like, man,
that's tough.
Man, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
That's really tough.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just so much I could say. It's so much I could say. It was angry at first because so many people in the comments is like, you know, this is why we should pay teachers more. While I do agree, teachers should be paid more, but it shouldn't be because they're given their last to do something. It should be because the profession needs it, right? You know, because the profession needs it. It shouldn't be because we answer what they say 3,000 questions a day or whatever the case may be. It shouldn't be because of that. It should be because the profession needs it, you know. So I just, September just needs to come on because we got a lot to talk about.
Look, I was gonna say, I almost lost my question. Come back when you said September, because September is gonna be off the chain. But I wanted to ask you. Oh my gosh, I had such a great question for you.
Sorry, my bad. Hey, I apologize.
Y'all tag an educator on this, even if they catch it in a replay. We still are initiating this conversation as the beginning of what we're gonna do.
Well, I have a question to present. I have a question for people in the chat. How can schools, colleges, universities better support teachers during a health crisis, right?
Ooh,
and good. not even just crisis, but during health issues. You have some teachers who, they struggle with migraines, right? And so you have some teachers who struggle with asthma. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, unfortunately, where you have some teachers who are struggling with health crisis. How can schools better support those teachers? Because as teachers, when we're sick, you can ask just about any teacher, it's better to just stay at work. The reason why it's better is because of how much we have to prep to be out. The amount we have to prep to be out, it's just much easier to just be there. Be there sick, be there with this, be there with whatever. It's just a lot easier.
Because you're still doing the work. I mean, essentially, you're doing everything you need to do it in a smaller amount of time so that you can actually be all the way away while you're away.
And it takes so much prep and it takes so much work. And so the question I would ask people in the chat is, how can schools better support teachers when they are in a health crisis? How could they do that? Yep.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. And y'all drop those comments in, because when we're going to come back and read them, we're going to come back and read the comments. And that kind of was really what I was going to ask you. What are things that from your perspective that you would like to request, or things that you would like to see? Like, what is something that you feel like is a key change that could be implemented, hey Sakithia, that could help teachers? Because there's so many things, but at least we could start with one.
Well, it's kind of hard, because when teachers are in a health crisis, that means you got to have coverage. You got to have somebody to be there when that teacher is not. But the subs, that's a short list. You know, it's a short list, right? Exactly. Somebody said have a stand-in substitute for each teacher that the children get to know. That would be perfect. If coming into the school system, every single teacher, or even grade level, or even whatever, had a stand-in substitute that they know that if this person is out, you're up next, right? So that was the thing I was going to talk about, just with the sub situation. That's a little hard, but if we could figure that part out, with having the subs be there and the subs be around so the kids know them, build that relationship with them. If that was possible, it would change things tremendously, because the kids respond better to, obviously, to people that they have a relationship with. Having administrators that understand. You have administrators sometimes that are so far removed from the classroom that if you email them and say, hey, my kid's not feeling well, then that doesn't always go well, right? So I've been blessed enough to have administrators that were not like that, right? I'm in adult education now. My dean is not like that. My dean is not that way. But everybody is not blessed to have an administration who is like that, who is saying, yes, your child and your husband and your mom, because she's not, doing well, comes before this. So that substitute aspect, that administrator aspect that is there for you, who sees you as a human and not just a person in their building.
That's good. I had a situation with an employee. I'm training a new employee, and there was something said about like being available 24/7. I immediately corrected it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about there was no breath between that coming out that person's mouth and we saying absolutely not. Because we create cultures, right? We have to change the culture of how we show up in this scenario, right? It should not be the expectation for somebody to show up around the clock, and we should not apply pressure that makes somebody feel like they need to show up around the clock. And if I don't want that individual, if I don't want that teacher to feel like they have to be there, then I actually have to build something inside of our system that is support. And so I love the responses when I'm watching the comments to see, what's coming in. But what Crystal Davis said, and Crystal Davis is one of our partners for Grace to Teach. So shout out to her. We'll be popping up and going live, and y'all will see her face some more. But we have to correct that behavior. And shout out, you said Amy. Shout out to Amy. Amy got you together early. We appreciate her.
I'm actually gonna tag her in this when we are done. I still talk to her to this day just for advice, because she's amazing. She's amazing.
I love that. And so sometimes you can be that voice. Do we need to be that voice that says, hey, let's stay balanced? Like, we got our girlfriend check-ins. Do you got a teacher check-in person? Like, do you have a person on your administrative team that advocates for a care culture or for a healthy human culture inside of that school? And if it's not coming from the board, say it again.
Some do, but unfortunately, some don't. Some don't.
Mm-hmm. Now, I could call my people because I got people at the board. I want to know if you have a program that has, like, what type of programs are there? Because, there's like this continuing education type situation. And there's always training for the teachers to do this and training how to do this class and training how to do this. But are we teaching trainers and administrators how to advocate for the human experience that your teachers are having, because they was a human before they were a teacher? And if you take better care of your teachers as a human, their performance and what your expectations of them can actually increase. And it would be within reason for you to expect that, because you've taken care of the person who actually got to come into the classroom.
Absolutely. So I like Crystal said, let teachers in clusters create day off calendars for their team on a quarterly basis. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Crystal. I don't know you, but high five, right? High five to that. Because, honey, yes, that's all I gotta say. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
brilliant.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that.
That would
Yep.
be good.
Yep.
I have so many thoughts.
Yep.
I have so many thoughts because now let's talk about real barriers, but I don't want to go too deep into it. And we got limited time. What time is it? It's
Girl, we got 8 minutes.
Okay, I'm like, So I think that is good. And working together at the level that Crystal has suggested is going to be vulnerable for other people.
True.
And if people don't want to be vulnerable and honest about what they want to do outside of work, they will be a barrier to the whole progress, to the whole process. But it also is the indication that you need to do some work, baby, because if we're building something to serve you, why would you negatively impact it for the whole, advocating for your own perspective only?
That's a good question.
That's also wellness work.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So yeah, I just feel like what she suggested would be a game changer, because it's not something in my teaching experience that I've seen done, and I think that, I don't know, this would be great. Man, this time went by fast. Okay.
And there is more. You got another thought, or you want to tell them what we're doing for all September?
So what I'm going to do is I will tell us what we're doing for September, and then I'll give my final thoughts on this situation. So for the month of September, I am on Wednesday nights at 7:30. I will be coming before you to present the knowledge that the Lord has given me through my years of education. I have a teacher journal that I have had for years. Don't say anything, Kenitra. I've had for a couple years, and now I have been pushed into doing more with it. And I will say, honestly, had I not been pushed to do it, I probably would not have. So yes, I will be coming before you. It's called Anchored Teachers. I'll be coming before you on Wednesday nights to present that to you. So I do hope that you will join me. And so my final thoughts, I'm not sure where Kenitra went, but
I ain't went nowhere.
Okay, I can't see you. That's why. Okay. So yeah, so I do hope on Wednesday nights that you will join us. It is called Anchored Teachers. That is the name of my journal as well. So Wednesday nights at 7:30. Grace to teach, man, and that fits for every single teacher. It is our calling, and majority of us take our calling very seriously for that. So as you can see, helping educators balance life, manage stress, and build with God. So I will be talking about that work-life balance. I will be talking about managing stress. I'll be talking about the fact that you are more than just an educator, right? You have a life outside of those four walls in that classroom, okay? And lastly, my last thoughts on the photo. I want us to be mindful. If you are outside of the education system, just don't judge, right? So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the fact that, yes, as teachers, a lot of us, we wear our heart on our sleeves for our students. We will go to war for our students, right? And yes, we have to be taught that work-life balance. So just show us some grace in that. For my educators, if you have not learned that work-life balance, I pray that you do. I pray that you do, because your life is more than just being a teacher, right? There are some of you, you enjoy reading, you enjoy cooking, you enjoy sewing, you enjoy hanging out with your kids, hanging out with your spouse. There's more to it than just doing that. So I want you to develop that work-life balance. I want you to develop having hobbies outside of teaching. If I was to ask you, what is your hobby? And you have to think about it, okay? Think about what you like to do and invest in those things. So as educators, let's get that work-life balance together. And it takes practice. So what that means is you're not grading papers on the weekends, okay? My students have no access to me after 5 o'clock. None. You can't access me. Your emails after 5 will be answered the next day. My students don't have access to me on the weekends, okay? There are emergency situations. Those are exceptions, but they need to be a true emergency, okay? So learn that balance, and I pray that you will. I pray that you will. Leave work at work. Sakithia, I just want to tell you that I love your name. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. But yes, leave work at work. Yep. And those are my final thoughts.
Shout out to you, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm super excited, and I'm a really proud sister. I know that it doesn't matter how passionate I can be about something. You got to have the right people qualified to have the conversation. And I know,
amen.
I know some folk who qualify.
You know some people. You know a few of us. You know a few of us.
I got some folks in my pocket. Okay.
You know a few of us. Yeah, but I can't wait to get my other teacher friends like onto this because, you know, I've been in education for so long. I'm not going to take too long, but I've been in education for a while. I've met so many people, and I could just think about all the people who will benefit from this. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It really is.
Yep. So she said it, and we'll reiterate it again, y'all. She is going to be hosting on the Grace for This platform while she's launching her own. Yes, hallelujah. While she is launching Anchored Teachers, y'all. I want to invite y'all to sign up, right? You can go and sign up to get the reminders. You can go if you are an educator, baby, if you an administrator, if you working in this education system, we want to support you. We want to validate and remind you of your humanity and advocate for your experience. Okay, so y'all can go to Grace to Teach. Bit.ly is on the screen right there. You can do that for Grace to Teach, and you can sign up and get in the loop. We are going to be doing some giveaways. Yes. 25 teachers are going to get some packages in the mail. They will be getting a copy of Mashekia's book. We have a partner already who is going to be making care packets, Kay's Creations. She's out of Atlanta. So like we're like for real, like it's easier said than done. And sometimes you need a little bit of coaching. You need a little package to come to your house. You need a gift card with a getaway to help you actually get away. Amen. Right. So y'all do that. And I'm gonna type this on here real quick. I want y'all to make sure you are following Mashekia's new page, Anchored Teachers. I was going to say educators.
Teachers with an S.
With an S. All right, yes. Y'all. Anchored Teachers. Tag your friends and everything, but you will see her live every Wednesday starting next week at 7:30 p.m. She is committed to going live. All right. She never goes live, y'all. Nope. This is a new person, right? This is somebody who understands the mandate and is showing up for the assignment. So let's hear her. Let's love on her. Let's get those numbers up. Let's go follow what she is doing because Grace for This helps you grieve, heal, and build. And this is the place. This is a building and grieving and healing because teachers experience grief too. Yes. Y'all still recovering from COVID, but that's
we are.
Right? There's so many. So we love y'all big. Grace to Teach. All September long, y'all. It's going to be amazing, and we're super duper excited. Where educators can retreat and are restored. That's where we're going to end in the end of September. So we love y'all super big. I'm going to close it out by saying life can be hard and your journey can hurt, but commit to heal so your story can help. Grace to Teach is what we're doing, and we'll see y'all next time. We love y'all big. Thanks, Mashekia.
See you later. Love.
Hello, my name is Kenitra Mozelle, and I am founder of a beautiful community called Grace for This. We are about women taking ownership of their wellness journey in 3 ways: personally, relationally, and professionally. I'm inviting you to be honest about your grieving experience, your healing experience, and then lastly, your building experience. You're going through this because you're graced for this.